When we win, we get it back, then we take it on back to a ladder so unbalanced. It's the Masochist challenge.
Standard Season 55. We are in right after the rank reset. And, last month I think went pretty well, especially, the strategy that I have going on. We got a lot of new cards for it, like Gigantic Sprite has to be said. Amazing pickup for the extra deck. And a lot of other just like generally good cards. Torrential Tribute. Clear New World I think is going to perform pretty well as well. So this month really just continuing to push forward with that. I would love to maybe look for a second deck that I can kind of bounce back and forth between depending on how the duels are kind of feeling. But either way, we know what's good. We know what's going on. Let's go ahead and hop on the ladder. All right, loading in for the first. Second. I did have to scoop up on the last one. Before I set, let's go ahead and activate Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I have both of the DPE bricks in my hand. It's really not been paying off lately, surprisingly. I am considering cutting DPE just because of the number of bricks I have to include. Burning Land. Maybe some kind of burn thing. Important to note, the opponent did make me go first, so this is a bit confusing. I guess I will get some burn damage here. I'll go ahead and Lord. Ooh. Okay, well. If I get cheesed out by a burn deck, can't really be that mad about it. Returning it to the hand. Sure thing, Capitan. Reset. Unfortunately, if it comes down to a war of attrition, they are way ahead on life points. Gonna try for Lord here. Looks like no response, fortunately. Some kind of trigger on the flip face up. So let's walk face first into whatever it is our opponent's about to do. No damage dragon in hand, so that's kind of nice. See if we've got anything on that summon. Let's go Witch. Grab the Hyperia, I guess. I don't know. Imperm. Well, that is actually fine. Imperm seems like a waste of space in a burn deck, if I'm honest. Let's try to grab the carrot one more time. Success. So with that, we have a spell trap negate, meaning they are going to have a much harder time. Lord again. I'm going to keep on lording. Veiler. I mean, going +1 versus... Oh, that's right. They can't even target Hypera anyway because of Elf. Sweet. So I get to go +2 instead of +1. Let's keep on extending. Gigantic Sprite does make it so that Nibiru doesn't activate. Oh, it's Ash Blossom, so no problem regardless. Could be that they set another Ghost Girl hand trap that has too much defense. Ah, okay, it's Aroma Jar. That's fine, we can get rid of that. And... yeah, we'll send Wind Pegasus at Ignister, because if something of mine gets destroyed, then I get to shuffle away one of their cards. And Gigantic Sprite detaches for effect, one of the few Z's monsters that does that. So I have just as many activations raring to go next turn. Unfortunately, it does mean that I don't have my carrot in the grave. And they gave up. That was enough for them. First pack of the session. Let's see if we can kick off the new season with some good pulls. Got Charge into a Dark World, Humid Winds, an Aroma card, Checksum Dragon, not my first. Let me remind myself. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, special summon, and then gain life point equal to half this card's defense. And it can't be destroyed by a battle in attack position. Not the worst thing, I guess. Second, Magic Drain. You know, it's like almost playable. I was running the first copy that I had for a while. It just quite often does nothing. Ghost Trick Parade. Cool. Very ironic. The opponent was just on this card, Aroma Jar. And so if it's flipped face up, it cannot be destroyed by battle while it's face up on the field. And then during each end phase, you gain 500 life points. So it's kind of a classic, like, stall card, basically. Very funny that we just went up against this. And one more to add to kind of the stall list that I have brewing in the background. I don't know how often you can just flip up Aroma Jar and win a duel. Maybe opponents get pissed off about waiting and leave, so maybe that's the win condition. Nice to have. Infernoid Harmadic and Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince. Fire tuner and a non-tuner. When it's synchro summoned, you can special summon a level 3 fire from your deck. And after you synchro summon it, you cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn. Not the worst thing. I can't think of any cards that I have in my collection where I would, you know, desperately want to get out a level 3 fire monster. But glad to have it in there just in case I can find some odd synergies for it in the future. Not the best pack, but certainly maybe some interesting cards here for the future. Let's keep going. Loading in, and I did manage to win the coin toss here, which is good because this hand does nothing going second and not very much going first. I do have the Statue of Anguish pattern. Fairy Wind is a bit of an anti-synergy, so hopefully I'll get a chance to use that before I have to flip up my trap monsters, but let's see what the opponent has in store for us. Their name is King Galaxy, and they've got the Galaxy sleeves, so that seems like a strong possibility. Setting 1. And end phase. Interesting. Wow, Fusion Destiny off the top. Well, if they are bricked on hand traps, I imagine this is not going through, but of course we're gonna try it. Huh. No Ash Blossom. So we just have to go for it. Well, I'll flip up my Witch and get in for some damage. Pause. Maybe the Galaxy card that is a Battle Fader. Oh, interesting. Mirror Force. Well, that will save them from taking any damage, but I don't actually care about it. We'll grab our Witch Search and then DPE after it because Witch is mandatory, so Chain Links work out in my favor there. I will search Retaliating simply because it's a hand trap, and if I don't use it as a hand trap, it can turn into Redoer with the Tiki Curse. If they had Called by the Grave, I think they would have set it. So I do think I'll get my DPE here. Alright, King Galaxy. What do you got for me? End phase. I guess let's go ahead and try it. Is their deck all Battle Faders? Something is holding them up here. Galactic Karibo. Okay, so I think when the monster is summoned, I can just use DPE. That is my reading of the text. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. Well, let's get a little greedy here. In the battle phase, go ahead and flip up Tiki Curse and Prey of the Jiraigumo. It does make my Statue of Anguish pattern relatively worthless. Any other battle tricks, friend? Alright, and now it's time for Redoer. Because he can stack a monster back on top of the deck, or, you know, a face-up spell trap if it's like continuous or, you know, a field spell. And what else? Set up a little pop action here, maybe. Get the dual benefit of Sprite Elf bringing back Soul Scissors, but also get some targeting protection for the Redoer. Seems pretty good for me. No other level 2s to bring back, but that is A-okay. And then standby phase, I will be able to bring DPE back, have targeting protection on him. And let's attach the top card of their deck to Redoer. It's a spell card, which is pretty sick. So that's a free draw whenever I want to activate Redoer's effect. Photon Sanctuary. I will Soul Scissors one of them, just to keep them off of the Galaxy Link monster. Gonna go ahead and stack the Photon Vanisher. I know it's gonna get shuffled, but keeps them off of more stuff potentially. Galaxy 100. Looks like I get to use the Fairy Wind as well. Considering what the hand looked like on my first turn, it's kind of crazy how high a ceiling I've cheated my way into. Guess I will go ahead and blow up the token just to make it easier to kill them next turn. And the Redoer comes back as well. They have some kind of trigger here. No reason to beat around the bush here. Let's see if we get to win it outright with the Redoer. It's over. The boy has taken it. Ooh, and it looks like for sacking the Galaxy Menace, we get an ultra rare. Signet Recovery. If a Link monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can target a monster in your graveyard except a Link monster, special summon it in defense position. Honestly, not the worst card I've ever read for like Cyber Slop kind of gameplay. CXC's Dark Fairy Cheer Girl, no way that I'm summoning that. 6 Strike, Sextuple Barrage, I think this is one of the new 6 Samurai cards. Yasha, the Skeletal Mayakashi. Requires other Mayakashis, fair enough, fair enough. Sylvan Komushrumo, when this card is flip face up, you can choose a number between 1 to 5. Excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, send any plants to the graveyard, also place the other cards on the bottom of the deck. If this card is excavated and sent to the graveyard, you can target a spell trap on the field, destroy that target. I think it would need to be in like a dedicated Sylvan deck, so not very good these days, and especially not for me. Flamvel Guard, not my first of those. Gaga Gardna, and ooh, Masked Hero Atomic. I don't think that I have Mass Change. Interesting. I guess this is just not useful for me, unfortunately. Very cool looking card, but not going to be able to run that one without a whole bunch of other cards. Let's keep it moving forward. Loading in, going second, and the hand's looking okay. You know, could be better, could be worse. It all comes down to what the opponent is on. Normal summon Mimicking Maneater Bug. Activate Dimensional Fissure. Why are we... Is that a misclick? Did you mean to set that? Moon Mirror Shield. I mean, I guess, man. One set card. It is Dimension Guardian. Alright, so I do have an out for the Moon Mirror Shield, as long as they don't have an Ash Blossom. Seems like their entire strategy revolves around, you know, protecting one singular monster. Not the worst strategy, obviously. It's still possible this is a Masochist deck. So they're going to add the Moon Mirror Shield back to hand. For the time being, I can just make them pay in terms of damage. Yeah, let's do it this way. They most likely have a monster in hand. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to let these guys get banished, grab my Silahat Rabbit, because it's a spell trap pop. See what else they have up their sleeve before I fire it off. I mean, Silahat Rabbit can't be destroyed by battle anyway, so I'm just going to let them do this. Because I'd rather pop whatever the new thing is. Mirror Wall. Okay. And then I'll wait on Tiki Curse so that I can get another pop. Let's go Red Moon first, I guess. Pretty decent. All right, Tiki Curse. So I'm going to be able to Chainlink 1, pop the Moon Mirror Shield, Chainlink 2, pop the Dimension Guardian. That's all the relevant back row. And then I think I have enough damage to close it out from here. It was a nice try, sir. But it was not enough. For beating Bug Tower Turbo, I'm going to call that one. What do we get? FA Circuit Grand Prix. Ooh, another copy of Generator Boss Stage. That's kind of crazy. I can't recall if I only have one other or if this makes the playset, but obviously a very strong card as like, you know, an engine unto itself. Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. Infernoid Permace, not my first Infernoid of the day. Gladiator Rejection. Altergeist Conquery. If I could get enough Altergeist, I would certainly play that. So if you control an Altergeist card, this is, you know, a battle fader for an attack. And if it's special summon, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects while it and this monster are face-up on the field. Decent as like a one-of, usually, in Altergeist. I don't know if more modern lists cut this, but with enough of those cards, I would certainly love to try running it. Witchcrafter Pittore and Danmari Adignister. So this is like the negate that you try to foolish during the course of an Adignister combo, because it's, you know, it's a negate from the graveyard essentially. All right, so I mean, I'm excited about that Generator Boss Stage. I think I only have maybe one or two of the, you know, less strong generator monsters, but anytime we pull a really good one, we're now prepared for it. All right, loading in, and I've managed to win the coin toss. against a 60 card deck with this Skull Servant icon. Let's hope they didn't open an Ash or an Impulse. Looks like I will in fact get to DPE. And I'm going to leave the Moon Mirror Shield in hand. That's kind of a follow-up maybe if they out the DPE. I do want to set Clear New World as like fodder for DPE if I need to dodge out. Harpy's Feather Duster, you know, I suppose, with the Skull Servant icon. Could have expected something like that. You know, one available in 60 cards makes me a little annoyed. Ah, okay. I see. I guess my question is, you know, does that give them everything? Yeah, it looks like it gives them everything. Well, fair play. I'm not going to be able to beat Super Poly, Harpy's Feather Duster. Well played, Duelist. Coin toss has really been going in my favor so far. Can I avoid the Max C challenge, though? That is the next question. Let's go Lilybell. 46 card deck, they have the one of. Just like the last opponent had a 60 card deck and got the one of Max C. Or sorry, one of Harpy's Feather Duster on the last one. Alright, well, you know, dying to Max C. Honorable way to go, I guess. Second time in a row on the Harpy's Feather Duster. Alright, we'll go next. Okay, won the coin toss. Opponent's on 43 and 15. The hand has, you know, gotta be said, some powerful traps there with Torrential Tribute and Dogmatic Punishment. Pot of Desires, let's see if we can get this resolved. Shifter, okay. Did banish one of the DPE bricks. Not too much else important that I'm seeing there. Ooh, and that is a wonderful top deck in the form of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. So they can Shifter, but I am going to sit pretty with my indestructible spell traps. And I put one of them in the wrong zone. I really need to remember to put Prey of the Jiragumo in the center zone and allow that to actually do its job. Still a pop with the Statue of Anguish pattern, but oh well. End phase. Okay, well, I will summon because they're under Shifter, so they can't Max C. And that'll give me my Lord trigger. And they will quit on that, okay. For beating the Shifter Scoop combo. Let's see if we can get anything good. Off the bat, we've got one of the new Go keys, Dragon Ogre, which is generic as far as materials go for a level 6. If this card is Synchro Summoned, add a Go key spell. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, target an earth monster you control. While you control that face-up monster, your opponent's monsters can only target it for attacks. Also add a Goki monster with less attack than that monster from your graveyard to your hand. I guess it does provide a bridge into Goki, technically. Alright, so another copy of Malice TB11. Interesting. Phantom Knights of Tomb Shield. Special summon this card in attack position as a normal monster. Okay. And it's not treated as a trap. During your turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a face-up trap your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. I mean, not the worst thing I've ever read, honestly. Don't think it has enough utility to take a spot in the current deck. Spirit Shield, so that's like you banish Fiend or a zombie to negate a card or effect that would destroy a card, and then it can also negate an attack if you banish a Fiend or a zombie. But if you don't control a Fiend or a zombie, you send it to the graveyard during the end phase. Alright, Abyss Storm. Send a face-up Umi you control to the graveyard. Send all spell and trap cards on the field to the graveyard. Sure, I don't think I have any versions of Umi. Oh, and it is a Cimo classic from like early in his Masochist run, Diabound Colonel. When this card declares an attack, it gains 600 attack, notably permanent. And quick effect, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses attack equal to this card's current attack until the end of this turn, then banish this card until the standby phase of the next turn. You know, pretty decent card for limited like this. It doesn't combo well enough with anything that I'm doing for it to earn a spot. Oh, Clockwork Knight though. That is crazy just in general to have the advantage as far as, you know, attack and defense goes. It's also very good to, you know, be a pseudo floodgate against like type specific decks, and pretty good for like stun decks as well. Wow. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Does this actually go in the deck, or do I, you know, have enough like things that would want machines? Notably, it also has an effect that barely sees play, which is you can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard a card, add an Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. I mean, it does see play, you know, to like add, gosh, what is the Omni Negate that is an Earth Machine? Name escapes me. So it does, anyway, it does see play for that effect in machine decks, but most notably the kind of stun decks play it. Last card, Shadal Construct. 2 flip monsters. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a Shadal fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. I have pulled a few Shadal flip monsters in recent weeks, so this is not out of the question. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send a Shadal card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. So you get to gain the Shadal effects and special summon this card back. Honestly, not a terrible pickup either. Clockwork Knight, though, I'm gonna go ponder that one. That one actually might go in the deck. Pretty strong pack. Alright, going second this time. The hand is kind of slow, but at least there's Moon Mirror Shield to maybe crack a board. And it is okay, because the opponent has bricked. I hope they are ready to be absolutely impressed by me. Wow. That is more interaction than I thought normal summon Soul Scissors would get. I guess I will leave it there in case they have evenly matched. I'd rather have them waste their battle phase too. Let's Moon Mirror Shield, I guess. A little bit silly, but at least Mimesis Elephant is a 2, so if they continue to brick, I do have a path toward Sprite Elf. End phase. Wow. Well, just in case they have Max C or something silly, go ahead and fire off my load here because I don't want to play into Nibiru by mistake. Pot of Desires off the top is pretty crazy. Let's see if one of the cards they're breaking on is Ash Blossom. Apparently not. Yeah, Lord Effect. And then I think I'm going to maximize damage here and get the Behemoth out. Go from low to high. We're always playing around Gores. Very relevant card here in the year of our Lord 2026. I am puzzled as to what they could possibly have in their hand. Is it 5 Nibirus? No reason to keep going. Ooh, some kind of trigger there. Ghost Ogre. Sure. That will do it. Ledger Book and Super Rush Headlong should be enough to keep me in the game, assuming they continue to be relatively bricked. Normal Summon Veiler. Link off, yeah. Into Spirit with Eyes of Blue. I feel like if they had other plays, like anything else in hand worth summoning, they would do that. So once they activate the field spell, I'm actually just going to Ledger Book the Spirit. I don't want them foolishing a Blue Eyes and turning other stuff on. Lord of the Heavenly Prison. Not exactly sure what I'm setting. You can see in the Banish pile that I did put in the Clockwork Knight. Ended up taking out the Mech Knights. Yeah, I'll set Dynamicious, because when I draw for turn it'll be live in case they actually set anything up. Ooh, played right into a Triple Tactics talent. Unfortunate. That might have lost me the game. No way of me knowing that that was gonna happen, of course, but they had to be bricked on something. Works to my benefit that they already normal summoned. Mausoleum technically would give them a second normal summon if it was the right kind of thing. Okay, so unless I'm mistaken here, they are very dead, right? Let's test that hypothesis. Just like old times, the Blue Eyes player was bricked. It's a good feeling. All right, one more Master Pack down. 5th so far, I believe. Metalhold the Moving Blockade, another trap monster. Activate this card by targeting any number of level 4 machine type monsters you control. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Special summon this card as an effect monster, and then equip those face-up monsters to this card. I think I'm done reading. Ooh, Goldilocks the Battle Landscaper, an Earth Machine. If this card is normal or special summoned to a zone that is not the center main monster zone, destroy this card. Did it before Elf Notes did it, you know? Did it before it was cool. This card gains 3,000 attack while in the center main monster zone. Once per turn, you can choose one of your unused main monster zones, move this card from your main monster zone to that zone, then destroy all other cards in the column of the zone this card was in. The column of the zone this card has moved to, and all columns in between. Cool, cool. So pretty decent removal if you can cheat it out, and Also a level 10. Steel Swarm Gatekeeper. Fossil Machines Skull Convoy. So a rock monster in the graveyard, level 7 or higher monster, so of course meant to be made with fossil fusion. I was just checking because some of the fossil monsters have an effect in the graveyard. You banish them from the graveyard and either pop a spell trap or pop a monster. That is not one of them, however. War Rock Ordeal. Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves. Interesting getting some more Phantom Knights cards. If I could get into some kind of rank 3 deck, I do have stuff starting to accumulate for that as well. You can banish this card from the graveyard, send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard. Tiki Piece. This is actually a pretty decent one. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Rock Earth level 4, a redoer, mind you. And it has this effect. You can pay 800 life points, special summon a continuous trap, except Tiki Piece from your graveyard or banishment as a normal monster, level 4, and its name becomes Tiki Piece. So any of the continuous trap monsters that I use and are now spent and in the graveyard, this thing can bring them back. It does bring them back as a normal monster, so that doesn't make link material for everything. But essentially, if I have a continuous trap in the graveyard and can summon this thing, it's a 1-card Time Thief Redoer that'll have 2 trap cards as material. Not bad at all. I think I am going to put that in the deck. I don't know if it's necessarily better than some of the other ones I have, but it's worth testing. What's our last card here? Dragon Nails, equip only to a dark monster. Gain 600 attack, also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster, and if you do, equip this card to it, but banish this card when it leaves the field. Not terrible, honestly. If I was on like a primarily dark strategy, it does protect the monster and specials it back, so not terrible whatsoever. The Tiki Piece is going in, the rest is just kind of nice to have in the collection. Going first, and that is a very good thing, as this is not much of a going second hand. They have something in their hand, probably an Imperm. So I don't think this elf is actually going to do anything, but let's play as though it will. They really should have had their trigger on for that one. Not that it matters, since I'm not going to profit off of the pop, but at least I'll have another body on board. Let's ledger book that. I don't want them getting like a Kashtira field spell or anything. Let's Dynamicious that. I don't want them getting like a Kashtira Birth or whatever. What can I say? You got me. Managed to win the coin toss here, and the hand is looking pretty good for going first. Unless I lose the Maxi challenge, which I always do. But the challenge for me is, you know, do they activate Maxi? If they do, I lose. But anyway, let's see if we can get some interactions going. Ooh, Ash Blossom. I'm actually very glad to see them use that, so that my Fusion Destiny doesn't get negated. You know, unless they have Impulse or something else. Drawing into the Ascended of Thunder. No trap monsters, so it is going to be Sprite Elf. Because who knows, the Hyperia draws might be nice to have. And the Fusion Destiny. If they have sphere mode, if they have sphere mode, I'm going to be, you know, just a little salty. They don't want to deal with that. Fair enough. Alright, that is as much time as I have for the session today. So it is that time of the video where I open up the Legacy packs and then we move on to the final Master Pack. I've got 10 that I can open today. Let's see if we grab anything good. Right, so a Metal Foes Fusion. Don't mind seeing that, even if it's, you know, essentially a vanilla. Ritual Raven, Dark World Shackles. The equipped monster cannot attack. Decent, decent. And its attack and defense become 100. During each of your standby phases, inflict 500 damage to the controller of the equipped monster. So it is an out of sorts. Magic Jammer is not bad, of course. Pendulum Hole. When a monster would be pendulum summoned. Never mind. Super Robo Lady. Anything else worth looking at here? A Goki Spell Trap. Just got the synchro that could add this, I guess. Once per turn at the end of the battle phase, if the last of these counters has been removed this way, you can special summon as many Goki monsters as possible with different names from your hand or deck, then place 3 counters on this card. Alright. Make a ninja unable to be destroyed by battle. Dust Barrier. Face up normal monsters on the field are unaffected by spell cards. Opponent spell cards. This card is destroyed during your second standby phase after activation. Meh. All pretty meh, gotta say. Maybe Mechanical Hound is also not that bad. While you have no cards in your hand, your opponent cannot activate spell cards. Maybe there's something funny to do with that, but overall not so strong. I guess I do enjoy the Dark World Shackles, but let's go look at that final Master Pack. Okay, for high rolling, my final opponent of the evening, can I high roll a lovely little pack? Windmill Gen X, yikes. Infernoble Arms Joyeuse, Tenma Tai Te. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of any monster effect acted by a monster that was normal summon set on a level 5 body. Nope, not so good. Cataclysmic Cryonic Coldo, the wind one. All the Cataclysmics kind of work based off attributes, so if a face-up wind monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can place 1 spell trap from the field on top of the deck. You know, if I was on like a mono attribute deck, the Cataclysmics are of course playable, but at the moment that is not the case. Infernoble Knight Oliver. So while it's an equipped card, your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects. And then you can send a Fire Warrior monster or equip spell from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand as a level 1 monster. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control. Not bad in like the dedicated strategy, but not useful for me. Volcanic Rat. Spiritual Light Art. Tribute a light monster to target a banished monster. Your opponent can reveal a trap card to negate this, otherwise special summon that monster. Not the worst, but what is our final holo of the evening? Ooh. Tearlament's Scream. So obviously very strong for like mill. If a monster is normal special summoned and you control Tearlament's monster, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Also, monsters you control monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack, rather. And if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a Tearlament's Trap from your deck to your hand. I can't recall if I have a Tearlament's Trap. There are some low rarity ones, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that I might, or that I might pick one up later. Main issue here is that I don't have a Tearlament's monster, so I am quite a far cry from making this playable, but you never know. You could always... That's the fun of Masochist. You're always a few packs away if you get the right pulls from putting something together unexpected. Like Tearlaments, for example, has a low rarity trap that is a Book of Moon plus You Foolish Burial, a Tearlament's monster. So, you know, if this one gets milled, add that trap, that turns on the entire Tearlament's strategy, perhaps. You never know. But anyway, pretty happy ending on that pack. Thanks so much for joining me. I know it's probably a bit of a shorter episode. Might include some of the funnier moments from the losses that I experienced today. But anyway, if you'd like to keep up with the series, please subscribe, of course. Otherwise, hope you have a great day, and hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks.